For the past year and a half, I have called my channel the Harvard Lawyer Lee channel, but I'm dropping the word Harvard from the channel name, and here's why. The goal of my channel is to use plain English to help people understand the legal cases that are in the news. Over the past year and a half, the channel has grown a lot, and so much so that it apparently attracted Harvard's attention. So, 6 days before Christmas, I got this letter from Harvard. They claim that because my channel is called Harvard Lawyer Lee, quote, consumer confusion is highly likely, close quote. Now, I don't think it takes a rocket scientist to figure out that my channel is named Harvard Lawyer Lee because I'm a lawyer, I went to Harvard, and my name is Lee. All of that's true. Harvard's not denying any of that, but they seem to think you might be confused. I think that's silly. No one is going to legitimately think that I personally have been a law school since 1817 for more than 200 years, training tens of thousands of lawyers. Do I look that old? Do not answer that. That was a purely rhetorical question. Do I look like a law school? My first reaction was, "Oh, I'm going to fight this," just like probably just about any lawyer's reaction. I'm going to fight this. But then I thought about some advice I got from the judge I clerked for. Judge Hill used to tell us clerks, remember, just because the other side wants it doesn't mean you don't want it. I think about that advice a lot. Lawyers oppose each other in court, and if the other side wants something, it's easy to just default to the knee jerk reaction. They want it, so I must not want it. But because of Judge Hill's advice, I've learned to stop and to ask myself, do I really object to what they are asking for? Or do I really want the same thing they want? And in this case, I want the same thing Harvard wants. I mean, let's face it, it's not like things have gone well for Harvard lately. Congress began an investigation into anti Semitism at Harvard. President Claudine Gay testified, and it would be an understatement to say it did not go well. Claudine Gay apologized, but things only spiraled from there. The congressional committee ended up widening its probe and started investigating allegations that President Claudine Gay had plagiarized parts of her scholarly work. So on January 2nd of this year, 2024, Claudine Gay resigned. The Harvard Crimson student newspaper said the resignation came, quote, after fierce criticism of the university's response to the Hamas attack on Israel and backlash from her disastrous congressional testimony spiraled into allegations of plagiarism and doubts about her personal academic integrity, close quote. It was the shortest tenure of a Harvard president since the school was founded in 1636. Although it seemed like the pressure might let off when Claudine Gay resigned, before the month was out, new charges were lodged against Harvard's chief DEI officer. An anonymous complaint claimed she had plagiarized 40 times in her scholarly work. The new interim Harvard president put out a statement saying he planned to try to deal with what he called pernicious anti Semitism and self censorship at Harvard. For me, it all kind of crystallized when I saw a post on X that said, Harvard lawyer used to mean something, not for a while now. Don't get me wrong. I'm very proud of my Harvard law degree, and I am grateful for what the school taught me. But given the current environment, I don't see a reason to fight Harvard on this. As my judge would have put it, just because Harvard wants it doesn't mean I don't want it too. I think, in fact, I do want it, and it's time for me to change the name. So, starting tonight, I will be changing the name of my channel from Harvard Lawyer Lee to Lawyer Lee. I remain a very firm believer in Harvard Law School. I had this diploma framed the year after I graduated. Now, as a funny side note, as you can see, it's in Latin. And we were all frankly kind of put out that instead of saying Harvard, it says Harvardiana. I remember my dad said, what have we been paying the money for? We thought we were paying for Harvard, and it turns out you're attending some farm school in Indiana. So I was proud of this diploma then, and I remain very proud of it. Attending Harvard Law School was an amazing, a transformative experience for me. I got the chance to take negotiation and mediation dispute resolution from Roger Fisher, who wrote Getting to Yes, and Frank E.A. Sander, who's called the father of mediation. I learned constitutional law from Lawrence Tribe. I even had the amazing and completely intimidating opportunity to clerk for him. I studied under Louis Loss, who was considered the intellectual father of modern securities law. I took evidence from Charles Nesson. I had the great misfortune to be the first person called on in our entire 1L class in a corporations class taught by Phil Arita, who is widely believed to be the model for the crusty professor in the paper chase. So now that's a funny story I'll have to tell another day. So there is no way I could be anything but grateful to Harvard Law School. I was taught by renowned scholars who opened my eyes to the world of law. But the fact remains that things have changed. And I would like to use a different channel name for all the reasons I said above. I don't want the current controversy at Harvard to be any part of what I'm trying to do here. My goal is to take all the things that I was taught at Harvard Law School and across more than 30 years of law practice to help you understand the legal cases that everyone's talking about. We go live Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 7 p.m. Eastern. I will see you tomorrow on the Lawyer Lee channel.